Hey guys, this is Nathan, that album reviewer guy, doing another album review. Pumping these out, man, pumping them. Today, I will be reviewing the new album from rock supergroup, Sixx AM. It's called Modern Vintage. This is the third album from Sixx AM, which was created by Motley Crue bassist Nikki Sixx. He is joined by current Guns N' Roses guitarist DJ Ashba, as well as vocalist James Michael. And I think they have Jeff Fab filling in for drums. They don't have a set drummer, really. But Sixx AM, they've had some solid releases in the past. Their past two albums, the Heroin Diaries soundtrack, as well as Lies of the Beautiful People. That's what it's called. Forgot it for a minute. Yeah, those two albums were solid. I enjoyed them. And this one, well, I'll get into it, track by track as usual. The album opens with Stars, which is a great track to open the album with. The instrumentation is done very well on this song, and James Michael's vocal performance is spot on, without a doubt. Then we get into the lead single. Gotta get it right. Sixx AM did not get it right. No, they did not. This track is very dull and bland. There's no emotion apparent at all in this song. The song feels like it's Queen meets Foxy Shazam, but in a terrible way. I mean, in all honesty, at least both of those acts, had some emotion. This was crap. Goodness gracious. Relief is the next song. It's in between the previous two, as far as quality goes. It's not as good as Stars, but it's way better than Gotta Get It Right, without a doubt. It's passable, to say the least. Then we're going to Get You Some. Cliche as hell. Goodness gracious, it's way too poppy, and not in a good way. It's chock full of cliche poppy scatting, and Sixx AM isn't meant to be a pop band. They're not. Feels like they're trying to be with most of this album. It's just like what they used earlier this year. They tried to be more of a pop-sounding band, and that album wasn't that good. Then we get into Let's Go, which has some nice instrumentation, but I'm not too keen on the lyrics. Then we get into Drive, which is covered the Cars song. This is more of a poppy new wave song, originally, and I think the style that Sixx AM is trying to go with for the majority of this album actually works with this cover. Though, I feel as though it's a bit sad that the cover is the best song on the album. Just saying. Give Me a Love is a solid rocking track, and since there aren't too many of those on this album, I have to say it's one of my favorites. Then we get into the next track, Hyperventilate, which is another mediocre track. I mean, it's not too cliche, but it doesn't really bring anything special to the table. Oh my, now we're getting into the shitstorm. High on the Music, way too cliche for me. In the first 10 seconds, I could tell that this is going to be a cheesy pop rock song, and boy was I right. If you want a half-assed anthem, look right here. You found it. Miracle is the next song, and it immediately gives off an Eye of the Tiger vibe, but when James starts singing, it has more of a Michael Jackson vibe to it. This disco, pop, whatever they're trying to do with this doesn't suit the band. The lyrical content of the song is lacking. A miracle is needed to make this album any better, and since there's only one more track, that's not going to happen. Before it's over, definitely not that miracle. This is probably the worst song on the album, without a doubt. Nothing is right about it. The lyrics are terrible, and the band sounds like they're trying to imitate a jazz or polka, or they don't even know what type of band they're trying to be. I don't know. They sure as hell don't know. They didn't know what they want to do with this whole album, it seems. Goodness. This album was a real disappointment, if you ask me. There were a couple of good songs, but there were too few and far between. Most of the album was trash, without a doubt. There was no backbone. Sixx AM sounded like they had no idea what direction they wanted to go with on this album. They tried being poppy, they tried being like a disco vibe, they tried being rock, they tried everything. They couldn't find anything that suited them, apparently. They just went from style to style to style, which is okay if you do it right, but they didn't. They did not do it right. They did it wrong. They did it completely wrong. No, this album was a failure as far as I'm concerned. I don't think I've ever showed this much anger and aggression in a review, but I'm just disappointed. Nikki Sixx, what the hell? What are you doing? What has this project of yours become? It was good for the first 2 albums, and there it goes, right down the crapper. The previous 2 albums were good. This one, no. This one wasn't. This one sucked, to put it bluntly. I can't even talk right now. Well, there are some favorites on this album. Stars, Drive, and Give Me a Love. And boy are there least favorites. Gotta Get It Right, Get You Some. High on the Music, Miracle, Before It's Over. 4.5 out of 10. Not really impressed with this one. My goodness gracious. What do you guys think of the album? Did you enjoy it? Did you find it dull? Bad? All over the place? I found it all the above. Let me know. And, you know, social media stuff down there. And that's all I gotta say, you know, like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. That Album Reviewer Guy, signing off.